All right, and hello everybody. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I hope that you can hear me and I hope that you can see me as well. It's lovely seeing everyone here again, and welcome to another OET All-Star session with Swoosh English. So my name is Scott. I'm the OET teacher, not the OET teacher, one of the OET teachers at Swoosh English, and we are a premium preparation provider and OET All-Star for the OET exam. And so welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for coming along today and giving me some of your precious time to check in with some OET speaking sessions here with us at Swoosh. So of course, if you can hear me and you can see me, please let me know in the chat box somewhere where you're watching today. You might be watching with us on the Swoosh English channels on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. Or you might be watching, of course, with the OET official channels. I've got an eye and my team have an eye on all the channels today. So any messages that you please send in, we'll have a look, we'll try and respond, and we will try and comment. So yeah, I encourage everyone to get your fingers out today. You've got a keypad in front of you, keyboard, sorry, or if you've got a mobile phone you're watching in today, please be as conversational and collaborative today as possible. So please send your comments in. I'll be reading them and I will be looking at them for sure. So I'm from Ireland, by the way. It's currently 9:03 a.m. in the morning. Let me know what time it is in the world with you and also what country you are from as well. We'll be watching, we'll be reading, and we will be getting stuck into all of that. So without further ado, let's get started with this session today. It's going to be approximately 75 minutes or so, could be a little bit longer. I do like to give lots of value in these sessions, and the Q&A that I do at the very end is obviously very popular as well, so I might stay on a little bit longer for that. So I do appreciate that you stay until the very end of the session today if you have the time. It will be worth your while. My team and I will ensure that we do it as good as possible. So without further ado, let's get stuck into today's OET official masterclass on speaking. So what we're going to be doing today, guys, well, we're going to be looking at the scoring criteria for OET. Usually I kind of go through, for OET speaking, usually I kind of go through this criteria one by one, but for the sake of the session today, I'm going to keep it relevant to the topic at hand, and that is effective patient response when it comes to OET speaking today. So regarding that lesson topic, we're going to be looking at the different types of difficult patient and how we can assess them in the role play context. I'll assess what you know already. And of course, we'll be building up some of your skills for some role play practice later on today. Speaking about that role play practice, well, you're going to take part or listen to some OET role plays today. Of course, there's hundreds of you in this session. Don't have time to go through hundreds of role plays, unfortunately. So if you don't get a chance to take part in the role plays today, directly, well, of course, listen in, assess your own abilities in relation to the role plays today as well. Give your own comments, give your own feedback. As said, listen to feedback on student performance and give your own. There'll be a few other things happening in the session today as well. There will be a Q&A involved, so make sure you stay until the very end to get any of your questions and answers. Questions answered by me and the Swoosh English team later on today. Hello, Paolo. Hello, Gazala. Hello, Paolo as well. And hello, Doyen, who have joined us today. Thank you very much for your kind comments. So just speaking, before we actually get stuck into the session today, guys, I want to remind everyone that we currently are offering a completely free guide to OET speaking. All you need to do is click on the link that you will see in this chat box somewhere, wherever you're watching. There's a link that's going to come into the chat box that you are watching to download your free OET speaking guide that we've put together at Swoosh English. It goes into a lot of detail regarding lots of aspects of the OET speaking exam. We go through all of the scoring criteria. We talk about assessing difficult patients, demonstrating empathy, establishing rapport, asking and answering appropriate questions, demonstrating that empathy, etc., etc. There's lots of things that we do in that speaking guide. If you're interested in that, guys, just click on the link that you're seeing coming through now into your chat box. This guide is completely free, so I recommend you add that to your arsenal of OET preparation advice that you need by downloading the link in the free guide. Alternatively, if you can't get access to the link for whatever reason, there's an email address, as you can see, it's on the screen now, enquiries@swooshenglish.com. So please email enquiries@swooshenglish.com, and our team will be happy to give you access to that guide for completely free. All right, guys, so let's get stuck into the lesson. As I said, I like to make these lessons very collaborative. And the first thing I want to know today just simply is regarding your biggest challenge with OET speaking. You're here to discuss OET speaking today. Let me know, what is it that you find the most difficult regarding your OET speaking exam? Let me know in the chat box, guys. Throw as many comments as you can into that chat box, what you find challenging, what you want to overcome, how you want to improve your speaking. Let me see these comments coming in. Thanks lots, guys. I see lots of people are joining in now and show me where you're from, etc. That's lovely. From the Pakistan, Philippines, India, etc. Lots of people coming in. Lovely. So what's your biggest challenge with the OET speaking? Okay, so we got some people talking about anxiety. We got time management. We've got we've got speaking confidence. We've got fluency. We get opening questions as well. We got lots of things coming in. Being nervous on the day of the exam, says Doyen. I'm bringing that comment up. Doyen said, I want to overcome being nervous on the day of the exam. And Doyen, simply being as prepared as you can during that time, learning how to speak appropriately, knowing the criteria inside out, having practiced this completely to the point that you are super comfortable is required for that. We've got Paolo has said completing the task on time as well, getting it done and getting it done well, of course, comments like this. The good news is, guys, is that regardless how large your speaking challenge is, it can be overcome with the appropriate preparation, the appropriate mindset, the appropriate tools, and of course, fantastic and quality feedback as well. And that's what we're going to go into in this session a bit, to add you with some of the tools that you need for effective OET speaking. But the next steps are up to you, but I'll talk more about that throughout the session as well. Okay, so guys, let's get stuck into our mini lesson on effective patient response management. Just reflect on what you're doing every single day in your medical job as a doctor, nurse, pharmacist, etc. You are managing the patients and their responses every day without realizing it. And the OET exam is just trying to find a way for you to find a simulated way of doing that in an OET role play that will ultimately draw upon the skills that you're doing every day in your job and make you better at it in the context of different healthcare systems across the world, but in the English language. So guys, let's talk first of all about that taboo word, difficult patients. Okay, I don't like using the word difficult patient, but it is what it is. You know, not everyone comes into your office, your clinic, your hospital every day in a nice calm state of mind. So we're going to talk about the difficult patients. So on the picture, on the screen in front of you, you should see 4 different images. Now, I would like you in your chat box now to tell me what word you think represents the way that these patients feel. So throw into the chat box your best words for this patient. How do you think he feels? This patient, how does she feel? This patient over here with his fingers in his ears, how do you think he feels? And this patient down here with her hands over her face, how do you think she feels? And what kind of difficult patient do you think they are? So throw your comments into the chat box, guys. What kind of words do you think are coming through? This is going to be a bit of an English adjective description challenge as well, because I'm sure lots of you will have lots of great words and lots of great ideas, and they're going to be synonyms of the words that we're actually going to use. So come on in. We got lots of lovely comments coming in so far. We got Nancy who said uncooperative. We have Paolo who said angry, frustrated, and confused. Doyam has said agitated. We got Nestle has said in pain as well. Thank you very much, guys, for your comments. Keep them coming in. These sessions are so much better when they are collaborative. Over on the other channels, we've got words like disappointed, irritable, angry. We got shy, aggressive. Angry is a good word coming in. Let's have a look on the other channels. Ashamed, depressed, shy, reluctant, upset, sad. Okay, guys, I'm pretty sure at this point we've done a good job of covering all of these words. Let's go through because we're pretty much on the ball here. The patient on the top left-hand side is a typical angry or aggressive patient. They're upset about something and it's coming through with their anger. The patient on the right-hand side is a typical defensive or stubborn patient who maybe doesn't want to take on board the advice that you are giving them. Then bottom left, we have the worried patient. They are super concerned about their health and maybe about some news they have been given. And then the right-hand side, we have the shy or the reluctant patient, as many people were saying. They're not very forthcoming and not much information is given. So in this session today, we're going to have a look at how we deal with these 4 kinds of difficult patient that we might encounter in the OET exam. So why is this important? The note on interacting with patients in the OET exam. Well, you're going to be given 2 role plays, as you know, in the OET exam, and each role play card requires the patient to have an emotional reaction of some kind. The patient might be quite angry or irritated. They might be worried or scared. They might be annoyed. They might be shy. They might be defensive. They might be stubborn. Now, each role play card will differ in the level of emotion they have to demonstrate, but it's up to you to be prepared to deal with these emotional states with the patient in regards to how they feel. That's why it's super important for us to address this today for your OET preparation. And as the professional, it is important that you respond to this emotional reaction appropriately to score points in the exam. Because if you are taken aback by this emotional response and aren't sure how to deal with it, it can derail other aspects of the role play that you have prepared for. So that's why it's important to think ahead, plan ahead, know how to do it, so therefore you can keep your role play on track and keep that organization on track and remain in control. Very, very important. So the angry patient, how do we know a patient is angry in real life, guys? Throw your comments in, okay? How do we know a patient is angry? Think about the non-verbal cues that they're giving us. Well, typical things might be a loud or raised voice, of course. They might have clenched fists or other aggressive body language, burrowed eyebrows. Now, of course, in the OET role play, the interlocutor isn't going to start acting out an incredibly angry patient, but they might speak in a louder or more raised voice and show some mild symptoms of irritation to put on the act, so to say. But think about your own patients in your own time and how they might deal with this, okay? So here's a case study we're going to look at regarding an angry patient. So Mr. Jones, a 75-year-old man, has come to the clinic demanding an appointment. The receptionist has politely told him there will be a 2-week wait as the clinic is currently full. Mr. Jones becomes very angry and starts shouting and swearing at the receptionist. You come out to attend to the situation as he's frightening the other patients and verbally attacking the receptionist. He is visibly upset. So when you're doing your OET preparation, you're looking at the cue card. If you saw something like this in the description part of the cue card, the case study, there's lots of signs here that you're going to be dealing with a very, very angry patient, frightening other patients, verbally attacking. He's upset, he's shouting, and he is swearing. That will then give you a mental indicator that, okay, there's a difficult patient in this scenario. I need to know how to deal with them. So let's have a look at a sample role play dialogue, which actually assesses this angry patient. The nurse says, please, Mr. Jones, come into my room and we can discuss what the problem is. Mr. Jones might say, I want an appointment, but I have to wait 2 weeks. That's not good enough. I need to see someone today. The nurse, keeping calm, okay, so can you tell me what's wrong? Why do you need to see someone so urgently? So this nurse is actually addressing the root of why this patient is angry in a calm and soothing way. Mr. Jones still says, I woke up this morning and I've lost my hearing in my good ear. I don't want to go deaf. I need help. The nurse then responds with empathy. I can only imagine how terrifying that must have been for you. I'll make a call to the hospital to get you an emergency appointment at the ENT clinic. So a couple of things that we've taken on board with that sample dialogue in the role play. Let's assess that in the wider scale of things. When you're dealing with an angry patient, it's important that you remain calm and you come across as calm and soothing in the OET role play if you are dealing with an angry patient, okay? Don't raise your voice to the other patient's levels. That can, of course, escalate the scenario and make the patient even more irate because they feel like they're justified in what they're doing. Actively listen to what the patient is saying. This is really important for the OET role play. If the patient is angry, get to the bottom of why they're angry. Ask the questions. Show that you're listening to what they are saying, and therefore that will put you in a better place to address their response. Acknowledge the difficulty of this situation. So they are, even though you might not see it from your point of view, from their point of view, they do have a genuine they have a genuine difficulty that needs to be addressed. Yes, they're not going about it the right way, but it's important for you to listen to them and assess that their issue is valid. Get as much information as you can from the patient. You notice in the role play itself, the nurse started asking some open questions to find out what exactly is making this patient so angry or upset. So ask those questions, arm yourself with the information that you need so that you can address with some sort of compromise later on. Use kindness to overcome the anger, as it's like remaining calm, remaining kind makes it look like the way that they are assessing the scenario isn't appropriate. And with that kindness, it shows that they're being listened to and they will hopefully be a bit better. But ultimately, show you are listening. Actually listen to what they're saying, respond appropriately to it, ask those open questions, remain calm, and bring that energy down in the room when you are doing those scenarios. So that's the angry patient, guys. Now, what about the defensive patient who doesn't really want to hear what you're trying to tell them? Well, we know that they're defensive because they also might use a bit of verbal abuse and profanity, not in the same angry way, but more of a sarcastic, I don't really care what you're saying kind of way. They might be complaining a lot, aka they don't want to be here. There might be some staring, intense eye contact, but ultimately they're showing a lot of signs of impatience, that they really don't want to be there. They don't want to listen to what you are saying as well. Now, a case study we have here is about someone called Mr. Finch, who's been a smoker for 30 years. He smokes at least 40 cigarettes a day. He also drinks very heavily. He says he only drinks a few cans of beer a night, but you suspect he drinks much more and probably drinks spirits too. He doesn't do any exercise other than going to the local shop, which is about 5 minutes from his home. So we've got the typical patient here that's been doing these things for many, many years, a long, long time. They're not good for his health. He needs to make a change. He doesn't necessarily want to make that change. So cue the classic defensive, stubborn patient, right? So let's have a look at a sample role play in terms of how this scenario might go down. Oh, sorry, he shows some early signs of bronchitis too. He doesn't want to change, but we have to persuade him to stop smoking and stop drinking. Okay, so a sample role play here. Nurse might say, I'm afraid, Mr. Finch, your condition will get worse if you don't change your lifestyle. Being direct and honest about what needs to happen. I'm fine, I'm as fit as a fiddle. Showing some stubbornness, right? The nurse says you will need to take this more seriously if you don't change your habits. You will have chronic bronchitis. You need to stop smoking and drinking. No, I've been smoking since you were in nappies. I'm too old to change. Possibly with crossed arms as he's saying it. How about smoking less? Could you try that? I suppose. What about drinking? Perhaps you can have a few nights where you don't drink. Okay, I can give it a go. Great, Mr. Finch. You will feel better by doing this. You'll stop having these breathing problems. Now, of course, this is only a scenario where the patient actually was overcome quite easily. But let's have a look at some of the mechanics about how you can deal with a patient who is defensive or stubborn in this context. Okay, so it's important that when you deal with a defensive patient who doesn't necessarily want to listen to your advice, that you explain the consequences in a firm, calm, professional tone. They are here for a reason, regardless if they want to hear this advice or not, because they want to improve your health. And it's up to you as a healthcare professional to give them that advice. Do it in a firm, calm, and professional tone to get that information across. Speak slowly but firmly. If you speak a little bit slower with this kind of patient, then it allows that information to seep in more and your words have more weight. But speak in a firm tone to show that you are in control and that the patient had best listen to the advice that you are giving them. But it's also important to establish limits as well. This kind of patient might try and derail the conversation, take it off topic, even use some appropriate language as well. If you think it is inappropriate, get that patient back on term and tell them when they are not being appropriate as well, or simply don't respond to some of the profanity or other words that might come your way. Now, this kind of patient might not be completely redeemable in this scenario. They might not take on board, and the interlocutor in the OET role play might be actually playing along to not giving in to all of the advice that you want to give. If the patient is showing reluctance to go the whole way, it's up to you to try and find a reasonable compromise if the patient isn't listening. So, for example, you told the patient that they need to stop smoking and drinking. They say, okay, I'll stop smoking, but I'm not going to stop drinking. In the role play, the nurse said, well, how about you only keep drinking to the weekends, only have 2 to 3 drinks at the weekends? The patient might agree to that. While it's not the perfect outcome, it's certainly a better outcome, and the patient came into the scenario as well. So try and reach a reasonable compromise if the patient is not or is backing down. But ultimately, try and remind the patient you are trying to help them. You are on their side. You've got their best interests at heart, and they have come to you for a reason. That should hopefully take away a bit of that defensiveness in that you are trying to help and you're trying to help them. Okay, that's the second kind of patient. Let's now have a look at what I deem actually one of the more difficult patients, believe it or not, is the shy patient. The patient doesn't really want to give you much information despite coming to you for your professional help. This patient is typically quiet. They usually answer in short answers, typically yes, no. They lack eye contact as well. So they're not giving you very much, and this can throw you off as the OET professional in the day of your role play if you deal with this kind of patient. So the case study with Mrs. Can, who has come to the clinic because of a sprained ankle. However, she is not very forthcoming with that information. You need to try and extract as much information as you can from her. So how do we do that in a scenario of a typical role play? This is what might happen on the day of your OET role play. Nurse says, right, Miss Can, I can see you badly sprained your ankle. Can you tell me how you did it? Patient just says, fell. So you fell. Can you tell me what happened? How did you fall? I was running for the bus. Okay, let's take a look. Does it hurt here? Does it hurt when I touch it here? Okay, you have sprained your ankle, but it will be better in a few days. Make sure you rest it and use an ice pack. Now, how would you feel if your patient was giving you such little information in the day of the role play and you felt, wow, I have 5 minutes to fill up here? Okay, so how do we deal with a shy patient? Okay, be friendly. Be as friendly as you can to that patient and make that empathy, that warmth, and that reassurance, those techniques that you're practicing for the OET role play, really come forward to the patient in this scenario. Have a calm and soothing tone when you are speaking as well, which also means speaking a little bit slower than you typically would. Smile a lot. Now, of course, in the OET role play, you're not being assessed in terms of your smiling, but if you can feel the empathy, you can feel that reassurance, you can try and feel establishing that rapport as much as possible, then smiling will certainly help to do that on the day. And of course, if you can get into that headspace, that mindset of treating this role play like you would a real patient consultation, then that will help you get the point across, and smiling can be a very good point of that. It's important to reassure the patient. The patient might be shy because they are embarrassed about coming to you. They maybe are ashamed, and that could be a reason for their shyness. So you have to reassure them that everything's completely okay. You're here to help them. There's no judgment being passed whatsoever. You're not listening or caring about what's brought them here. You want to reassure them. And when you offer that reassurance, you help that patient open up as much as you can. And also you can use gestures to help elicit some information as well. Once again, not super appropriate to the OET role play, but as I said, if you can act it out a bit better, it can help you get into that frame of mind to fully use that criteria on the day of your exam as well. Okay, finally, the final kind of patient we want to actually mention today is the worried patient, okay? This patient will likely act eye contact. They're visibly upset either by what's happened previously or maybe what's happened in the consultation of the role play as well. They might hold their hands against their face. They're showing signs of anxiety and worry. So, a case study that we might actually see a worried patient is when they've been given some very serious medical news. So in this case, Mr. Lee has been told he has bowel cancer. You need to inform him of his options. This can be a very difficult role play because of the weight of the scenario, and the patient will typically exhibit these worried symptoms doing this kind of role play. So here's an example. Nurse, I'm afraid it's bad news. Your test results have come back and you do have bowel cancer. The patient just simply says silent, oh, doesn't say a thing, probably looking quite visibly upset, shell-shocked, not sure what to say. Up to you to take control. We can get into treatment straight away. The doctor will come in to discuss your options. In the meantime, do you have any questions or concerns I can help you with? The patient simply shakes their head. Here is more information, hand over leaflet. If you ever have any questions or concerns, ring the number on the leaflet. That will be able to help you. So when you're dealing with a worried patient who's been maybe given some seriously bad information, listen to their concerns, okay? If they are showing that active anxiety, listen to what they are saying. They are using you as a therapist as much as being a medical professional as well. So it's important to show that you are actively listening. Yes, I see. Use those verbal gestures, but actually listen to what they're saying. Even recount what they've said back to them to ensure that you've understood what they have said and make them feel more comfortable with you. Now, of course, the patient, regardless if they're speaking lots or they're not speaking lots, it's important to inform them of their options, especially if they've been given some very, very serious information. In the case of the bowel cancer case here, the patient doesn't know what to do or even know what to say next. So it's up to you to carefully inform them about what happens next. Break that down into sequenced information and deliver that information to them in a nice, clear way. Be patient with this patient. They might have a lot to say, or they might have not much to say. So it's important to you to remain professional in your contact through this and ensure that they have a safe space to say what they have to say, or for you to give that information to them despite them not giving you much information. In this kind of patient, it is important to demonstrate as much of that empathy and understanding that you have learned up at this point. There's empathetic phrases showing that you're understanding, that active listening, developing that reassurance, establishing that rapport, all really, really important in this role play to get that effective patient response across to them. It's also important that you give them time to process this information. They might be a bit unforthcoming in this conversation, as we said. There might be some periods where they're not really saying very much, a few awkward silences. Be okay with that. They're processing this information. You might not even have the consultation that you need. You might need to give them time to go away and think later on, and the role play will be designed to do that as well. It's okay, because time is typically needed in real healthcare consultations, and OET speaking is no different in regards to this. So guys, that's a brief mini lesson on the 4 kinds of patients that you have to deal with in the OET role play. Let's review. The most important thing to really assess in this review is, regardless of what kind of patient you are speaking to, adjust your speech according to the scenario, okay? If you're dealing with a patient who is angry or defensive or stubborn, it's important that you speak slowly, firmly, and in a calm, soothing tone to bring down any escalations in the scenario. It will help you feel more in control of the role play scenario as well, and therefore that will help you with your delivery of the rest of the role play. Likewise, if you're dealing with a shy or worried patient, it's important that you also speak in a kind, friendly, soothing, calm manner as well. It's important that you show that you are listening to the patient. In every scenario, you are assessed for that across OET, the speaking criteria for clinical communication, no matter what. So it's really important that you demonstrate that. Use some of that active listening, those active listening techniques that you're learning. Actually repeat back to the patient, mirror what they have said, check for their understanding consistently as well. So show that you are listening, learn the skills, and do it for each kind of role play. And be understanding of the patient. The patient might be angry, they might be defensive, they might be shy, they might be worried. You might understand from your medical perspective that everything's going to be fine, but they might not at the same time. So it's important that you understanding by demonstrating that empathy, putting yourself in their shoes, hearing what they're saying, no matter how they're saying it, and legitimately justifying that they have a concern. It's fine to feel how they are, but you're here to help. You have their best interests at heart. So take away these 3 principles today in your OET speaking for the different kinds of role play that you have. Learn how to deal with them, and it should help you pretty well on the day of your OET speaking role play that you do. Okay, guys, so that was our mini lesson on effective response management for patients. Of course, you can watch this video back on the Swoosh English Facebook channel or YouTube channel anytime if you want to watch that mini lesson again and dive into some of the concepts that we've spoken about today. Now we're going to move on to the next part of our class, which is our mock role plays. We're going to actually put into practice some of the things that we've learned today with a couple of role play scenarios. So in a moment, I'm going to actually invite some students to come into the studio with me today and do some OET speaking role plays. Before we do that, I've got a list of assessment questions here on this screen. Once we do go through the role play, I'm going to be assessing you and giving the lucky candidates some verbal feedback on linguistic criteria, on the clinical communication criteria, to give someone some key takeaways about their performance today in relation to the difficult patient they have to deal with, but just in general as well. So these are the questions. We will be going through them in a moment. So here is the first role play card here today. As I said, I'm now going to invite anyone who wants to join today to come into the OET speaking, the studio today to do some OET speaking role plays with me. In terms of how this is going to work, guys, there's going to be a link appearing in the comment box wherever you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or elsewhere. If you do want to join, just simply click on that link, input your name, turn on your camera. Camera will be great. Have a good working microphone, have a quiet environment, and a fast internet connection as well, reasonably fast. If there's any connection problems, I will have to give the chance to someone else. Thank you for understanding in advance for that. As you can see, this first role play card is for our nursing candidates only. So only come into the studio if you are a nursing candidate to begin. Other professions like medicine will have a chance to do a role play very, very soon in this class. So keep an eye out for the link, guys. It will be coming in very, very soon. Here is your role play card on the screen. Get a pen, get some paper, get something to write on. Start taking your notes because you're going to go through our 3 minutes preparation time here first before we actually do the role play, of course. But this is going to be your preparation time now, guys. So I look forward to having some of you join me, nursing candidates, in the OET speaking room today, shall we say. So keep an eye out for that link. Begin your preparation now for nursing candidates, and I'll see some of you very soon in our OET speaking role play. See you soon. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. So, hope your preparation time went well. Hope that you're feeling prepared to listen to some great role play responses here, or even take part in your own role plays as well. So, I have to give one person a chance to do a role play today who come in. I wish I could do all of you guys. I wish I could. Of course, we at Swoosh English can help you out with that afterwards if you're looking for some bespoke OET speaking role play practice. I'm going to give Paolo a chance to come in and join me today for some OET speaking. So, Paolo, your camera will be turned on. Join the stream in 3, 2, 1. Hello, Paolo.
Hi, Scott. Hi, everyone.
Hi, nice to see you, Paolo. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm very, very well. So thanks a lot for joining us today, and thanks a lot
My
for also.
pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure too. Thank you as well for volunteering to do some OET speaking practice today. So, Paolo, to get you warmed up, get you thinking, less nervous about the role play itself, tell me a bit about you. Where are you from? Why are you taking the OET exam as well?
Well, I'm actually from the Philippines, but I'm currently working in Abu Dhabi right now as a medical coder.
Very nice.
So I'm a graduate of nursing, but it's been a while since I've practiced my profession. But because of the recent, job opportunities abroad, most especially in the UK for nurses, where I'm quite enticed with the offers.
Very nice. There's lots of nursing positions even in the UK. That's why you're taking the OET, I
Yes.
assume. So we'll love to have you here for sure. So let's get your
Thank
OET
you.
exam passed, I'm sure. So how are you feeling then about doing this OET speaking role play with me today?
Of course, nervous. I think that's natural for someone who is about to do this for the first time. But although I have done some practices with my wife in the past, but you know, it comes out naturally that we will be always anxious with these instances. But I will try to do my best.
Your best is always good enough, Paolo. Your best is always good enough. If you're always doing your best, then you'll get to an OET passing score eventually. It's okay to feel nervous, completely natural, completely fine. Just enjoy the process as much as possible. Try and imagine me as a patient, hopefully, I'm not a very difficult patient for you right now. But the point is that try and enjoy the
Yeah.
process as much as possible for yourself today. Speak slowly, speak calmly, do what you can to feel like you can remain in control today. Okay. Because the nerves can be a good thing if they're controlled, not so good if they get the better of you. But you look calm. You look quite calm, and that's good to see. So
We'll see.
maybe not inside, right?
Yeah.
Paolo, I'll bring up the role play card for you now on the screen and for everyone else who is watching as well. So here is our role play card. Oh, let's go to the screen here. There we go. Can you see it okay, Paolo?
Yes, it's
Okay,
clear.
so good. You've had your 3 minutes of preparation time. Simply begin speaking whenever you feel like you're ready to begin. I'll start the timer and we'll go through the role play.
Okay. Good day, sir. My name is Paolo, and I will be taking care of you.
Hi,
How may I
Paolo.
address you?
You can call me Scott, but I'm actually not here for me today. I'm here for my son Matthew.
Okay, Mr. Scott, I understand that you have some issues with your son. Could you explain what is happening?
Yeah, well, I'm here because I was at emergency consultation with the doctor a few days ago, and I suspect my child has asthma.
Yes.
Well, he has asthma, but it doesn't seem to be getting better, nurse. He doesn't seem to be improving at all, and I'm just wondering, can you help me out here with understanding this scenario and just tell me that my son's okay because he doesn't seem to be okay.
Okay. I understand that you're quite anxious with the
Yeah.
condition of your son right now, and the doctor currently is seeing another patient. But as soon as he or she will be finished seeing that patient, she will be right with your son.
Okay.
So, sir, just to have an idea of what is happening, I just want to ask, about your son's condition. How did this started?
Well, as I said a couple of days ago, he was diagnosed with asthma. Over the past number of months, he's been waking up in the night, he's been coughing, he's been having a lot of trouble breathing as well, especially when he's
Right.
exercising or running around. He had a bit of a fever a few days ago, which brought me to the doctor's office, and he was treated for breathing and wheezing, then diagnosed with asthma.
Mm-hmm.
There was an emergency appointment at the emergency department where he was treated with Sabutamol, sorry, for his wheezing as well. And I just want to know, will he always be like this? Will I need to always be caring for him? Will I need to always be treating him like this?
Okay. Okay, sir. I can understand that this must be hard for you, especially having a child this young to be suffering from this condition. But I can reassure you, sir, that even though that the physician is currently seeing another patient right now, we will be closely monitoring your son every now and then. We will do check. We will do the checking of the vital signs, probably every 10 minutes, just to make sure that he is in a good condition. But so far, based on the vital signs and his current values, he is in a stable condition. And I just want to briefly give you some information, sir, of what will be happening once the doctor arrives. So there will be a few steps that we will be doing um, as the physician sees your son. So probably they will do a couple of tests. Um, firstly, they will probably start with the X-rays
Okay.
after an initial physical examination done by the physician, which is to be secondly followed by a couple of blood tests as well. So how does that sound with you?
Okay, whatever needs to be done, that's completely fine. That will be good. It would make me feel better as a parent as well.
Yeah.
What I'm also pretty worried about is he had what was I would say was quite a severe attack, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
prompted me to come to the doctor to the hospital to begin with. Um, I'm worried about this happening and the doctor not being available and it happening at home again, nurse. Is there anything that can be done to manage any severe asthma attacks at home if they occur?
Well, we just need to make sure first that he is truly diagnosed with asthma, which in my case, I cannot truly do the diagnosis for itself, which is why we need to wait for the physician's examination first. And then if it has been finalized that the diagnosis of asthma is truly confirmed at the end of the examination, then we can truly consider some medications, which in for some cases, for some patients, asthma patients to be exact, um, patients will be given some standard dosing of inhalers and some medications that is to be taken regularly. So, but for now, we will just have to wait for the physician's verdict. So that is to be done once the physician sees another patient. But for now, we will continue monitoring your son's condition, and then we will wait for the final diagnosis. How
Okay.
does that sound for you, sir?
Well, that sounds. You've given me something, and that's important. I just would like to see the doctor soon, as well. Is there anything else the doctor might be able to do to help when we see him?
Well, apart from the test, we will just have to wait for the final results of the test, of course, so that he can clearly see a bigger picture of what is happening with your son right now. And then, sir, I would like to reassure you, sir, that we will continue to monitor your son's condition. And then, I'm gonna have to ask you to calm for a little bit and be understanding of our state for right now, because the emergency department is kind of busy right now. But rest assured, we will keep on monitoring your son.
Okay, okay, that's great, nurse. Thank you very much. Thanks for that advice. We'll wait. Happy to hear that he's okay, and we'll see where it goes from there. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Scott. Is there anything that I can do for you?
That's everything, nurse. Thank you very much today. Appreciated.
Thank you so much, and we'll be back to you once the doctor is available.
All right, thank you. And stop.
Whew.
just, just relief, right? Well done, Paolo. Hope that went really well for you. How do you feel after doing your role play today?
I do have some slip ups. I repeated some informations, but I think I did well for
That's
first time.
That's good. First time, amazing work. Well done. If that's your first role play, that's phenomenal for your first time. So well done. I notice when I always ask that question. I always ask, how did it go? Candidates immediately go to the negatives. Oh, I didn't do
Yeah.
that well. But I want to also celebrate the positives, the good things that you did as well. So yeah, well done, Paolo. Seriously, very good role play. Let's go through some feedback in terms of
Thank you so much.
how you got on. That's the most important thing. So I'm just going to go through some verbal feedback. I can't give you a score with this role play
Mm-hmm.
because it's not being assessed the way a role play would have been done by two separate examiners. You get to listen to the recording a few times. So that's why I am not in a place to do that, because it would be disingenuous of me to give a score. But I can give some feedback in terms of what went well and what you could improve on as well. Now, in terms
Sure.
of the linguistic criteria, your fluency, your pronunciation, your tone, and your grammar and vocabulary range, really, really good. I mean, you were a very clear, easy to understand speaker, and your pronunciation, intonation was amazing. To be honest, a few small minor slip ups did not impede any way my understanding of you, so completely fine. You were a good fluent speaker with a couple of small hesitations here and there, but they can be improved, of course, with more preparation and remaining calm in the role play itself. I thought that you spoke highly appropriately for a nurse, professional, courteous, and calm. So well done. And your vocabulary and grammatical range was quite good. There are a couple of small slips here and there, once again, quite minor. I couldn't write them all down because I focused more on the clinical communication criteria. But one thing you did say, Paolo, was, I'm going to ask you to calm for a bit. There's something missing in that statement there. I ask you to calm.
Yeah.
What we say before that? Stay calm, remain calm, keep
Yes.
calm. Ask
I'm
you to
trying to rephrase the calm wording in the card, but I cannot think of any words. But
yeah.
that's why I got
So
lost.
so read to remain calm, to stay calm is how it needs to be said. So yeah, well done for that. That is how it goes. So keep calm or remain calm in this scenario and in this case. So I thought you did really, really good for that. Okay. Clinical communication criteria. Let's go through what I thought you did. I thought you did a very good means of demonstrating and showing empathy to me as a patient. You did offer a lot of support throughout as well. I think you could have probably offered me a little bit more consistent reassurance throughout the role play. The reassurance was given at the very, very end, but I was the typical, worried, anxious patient today. And what a worried, anxious patient needs for a child is reassurance. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. So I would have probably just used that a bit more consistently throughout. You did at the very beginning, and then once again at the very end. Maybe a little bit more throughout the role play would have been good as well. Did you listen to me and respond effectively and appropriately? I thought you did. I thought you got to the point of the role play card very well. There's one thing, though, I want to bring to your attention. I told you at the beginning of the role play that my son was diagnosed with asthma, but then you
Yeah.
said, if we're going to go through the asthma diagnosis check, I didn't want to bring that up in the role play because it might have completely thrown you off. If I said, excuse me, no, nurse, I've already been diagnosed. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Where do we go from here? Just be very, very careful in terms of listening to what the patient's told you previously and then responding effectively as well. So that would just be that one small thing in the role play that could have been better addressed. Okay. Was your information structured appropriately? I thought you flowed through the role play quite well with a nice mix of open and closed questions. I had written down not too many closed clarification questions at the beginning, but you did do more of that at the end, so I can take that away. Even though it was very well structured, came in a bit long, nearly 6 minutes. Actually, 6 minutes, 11 seconds. Apologies for that. So just think about your time management. You do not have to do the role play in 5 minutes exact. You're not cut off at the 5-minute point. But if it goes significantly over, you may be then cut off. And 6 minutes, 11 seconds, a little bit on the long side. think about the bullet points that you have in the role play card, and how much time that you would need to dedicate to each point to go through it effectively, and remain concise in your answers as well. Keep as concise as you can in the information that you are giving. But was I satisfied with delivering information? Well, yes, I came in panicked, worried. You told me everything should be fine. This is what needs to be done. You can do this at home. The doctor will be seeing you soon, reassuring me that everything will be fine. I thought you did a very good job at that role play overall. There's a couple of things to look at would be, of course, to make sure you're listening to the patient in terms of those important information that you are recounting. Of course, some small grammatical errors like remaining calm were there. Your time management was really important too. And maybe just to show that you're listening more would be maybe to repeat some of the information back and keep those closed questions consistent throughout the role play as well. But for a first role play, very good. Very, very good, Paolo. And you should be happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I will keep note of those, everything that you have mentioned. Yeah.
Very good. So how do you feel about that, Paolo?
Well, I'm looking forward for the next one and get to practice all of the mistakes that I have done.
That's great. So what's your preparation plans now for the OET exam?
Well, I'm currently enrolled in Swoosh, so I've just started my classes few days ago. So I'm looking forward for more
that's lovely, Paolo.
of the learning that you'll be providing.
Oh, thank you, Paolo. That's nice. Thank you very much for choosing us. So enjoy the Swoosh English preparation course. Hope that you're enjoying it as well. Get plenty of speaking feedback put in. Make use of the materials. Make use of that feedback. Super, super important to prepare. But I've got a very good starting point for your speaking already. I can see that. So keep up the good work. Lovely meeting you today as well. And
you too. Same to you.
And you can do it. Keep strong. The UK will see you soon, right?
Yes, sure.
Thank you very much, Paolo. Enjoy the rest of the class and take care.
Thank you. You are welcome.
Bye-bye. All right, Paolo. That was Paolo. Everyone, I hope that you enjoyed that speaking role play with Paolo today. Please send some of your comments and your queries as well into the chat box. Give a bit of encouragement to Paolo for taking part in the OET speaking role play today as well. And if you're enjoying this class so far, well, somewhere, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you give us a like somewhere around here. Hit the subscribe button somewhere around here to keep up to date with the live sessions and other content that we put out for OET at Swoosh English. If you're watching on Facebook, then give us a like, give us a comment, give us a love. I appreciate anyone who wants to join us and follow us as well. So that was our first role play, guys. Let's now get stuck in to our next one. But before we do, I want to remind everyone that we are currently giving away a completely free resource. It's our OET speaking guide. And all you need to do to access this guide is click in the link in the comments that you'll see the speaking guide coming in. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, you might need to give us an email depending on how that link actually responds. But give us an email at enquiries@swooshenglish.com. That's enquiries@swooshenglish.com. You can see at the bottom of the screen here, and we will send that free OET speaking guide directly to your email address. We go over lots of handy information, tips, methods, and strategies for the OET speaking exam, go into detail on all aspects of linguistic and the clinical communication criteria to help you ace your OET speaking exam. So click on the link in the chat box on Facebook and YouTube, wherever you're watching today, or give us an email at enquiries@swooshenglish.com. That's enquiries@swooshenglish.com to get that email, to get that free speaking guide sent to your email address completely for free. All right, guys. Well, that's that. Let's get into now our next speaking role play. And this speaking role play is for our medicine candidates. A bit like last time, guys, we have the role play card here. Taking into account what we've actually learned in the lesson today regarding the different kinds of difficult patients, make sure you spend a bit of time in your preparation time assessing what mindset is the patient in today in this role play card. Spend a bit of time assessing that. Look at the key verbs that are appearing in the task card as well. We have reassuring that's happening as well. We also have a parent involved. So think about if you have to reassure a parent, how that parent might be in the role play card. Okay, so guys, let's then get stuck into this next role play card. There will be an invite coming into your chat box here. So guys, there will be an invite coming into the chat box, coming in a second. Okay. So when this invite link comes in, make sure you click on the link, come and join us, turn on your camera, turn on your microphone, have a good internet connection and a quiet environment. It makes the role play just a much, much nicer experience for all involved. So I will now put this role play card full screen in a moment. When it is full screen, then we will start the role play. But your 3 minutes of preparation time begins pretty much now. Get a piece of paper and a pen handy or something to write on. Keep an eye out for that link as it comes in, and we'll start the OET speaking practice now in a moment. So enjoy, guys, and we'll see you very soon. Medicine candidates, looking forward to seeing you in the room. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Preparation time is complete. Do you think 3 minutes of preparation time is enough for the OET roleplay exam? Let me know in the chat box how you feel about that. I'm sure a lot of you will look like a little bit more preparation time during that time as well. Okay, guys, let's get our second roleplay underway today. So I have to choose one person to come in and do a bit of OET speaking practice with me today. I wish I could have everyone, but of course, remember, we at Swoosh English do this very well with our preparation courses and mock speaking practice, a bit like what we're doing today. So there are plenty of chances that can come at a later date. I have to give one person a chance. I am going to give Doyen a chance to, or Duyen, sorry if I said it wrong, a chance to come in and do a bit of OET speaking practice with me today. So I'm going to turn on your camera in a second. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello, Scott. How are you?
I'm very, very well. And thanks a lot for joining me today and coming on board. Can I ask, is it Duyen or Doyen?
Doyen.
Doyen. I was right the first time. I should have just gone with my...
It's an English name, actually. Doyen.
Is it? Maybe I'm just getting too old
Yeah.
to know some names. I don't know. So anyway, nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very, very well. So, as I said, thanks a lot for joining us to make you feel a bit more relaxed and easy going into this role play today. Tell me and everyone else a bit about yourself.
I've just finished medical school and I'm 3 months into internship. And I plan to move to UK next year, or the year after. And I have recently given my OET last month. I'm waiting for my results, but I'm not so confident about how the exam went. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first and foremost, congratulations on graduating, and well done for deciding to make that big move to the UK. I take it you moved to the UK?
Yeah, UK.
Right. Well done for making that huge move straight away. I'm assuming you're quite young, 20, 21 years old.
24.
24? Oh, you just look so young. What can I say? Yeah, it's going to be a life-changing experience for you getting to move and live overseas. I know it for a fact myself, so we want to help you do that. I hope that you do pass your OET exam. I really, really do.
I hope
but if
so
not,
too, but I'm not confident.
we'll see. We'll see sometime very, very soon. If you don't pass this time, what's important is you pass the next time, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go through a bit of an OET speaking role play practice with you today.
Is it okay if I just ask one doubt before we start?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Am I meeting the patient for the first time, or is it? Have I seen the patient before?
It looks like in this consultation that you're seeing it the first time. This is actually the complementary consultation to the nursing role play that we actually did, where the patient has actually come from the doctor to the nurse. This is going to be the consultation that's happened actually before from the doctor's perspective. So this looks like it is the first time you're meeting the patient, but the patient has already had a consultation prior to that with a different doctor. Okay. So you're meeting the patient for the first time by the looks of things. Make sense?
Okay, sir.
All right. So Doyen, whenever you like to go, you can just start speaking. I'll start the timer, and we'll go through the speaking role play today, okay?
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Good luck and remain calm and enjoy it as much as you can, all right?
Okay. Hello, I'm Dr. Doyen, a working doctor here at this clinic. Is there anything I can do for you?
Hi, doctor. Thanks a lot for seeing me today. I'm here on behalf of my son, who has recently been diagnosed with asthma, and I just wanted to make sure that he's okay. I don't know a lot about asthma at this point, and he's had a couple of serious fits, etc., here and there. How can you help me? How can you tell me about this recent diagnosis that he actually has?
Has he been hospitalized before?
Yes, he actually was hospitalized a couple of weeks ago, and that's when we learned about the diagnosis, and that's what actually has me quite worried about this whole scenario.
Yeah, I understand. You must be worried, but could you tell me what you have learned from your previous visit?
I've just learned about what the symptoms of asthma are. I wouldn't be confident in terms of how to deal with a serious asthma attack at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly currently, I've been advised to treat him. Well, he was treated with salbutamol at one point, and I'm just looking to
Yeah.
know if you can explain a bit more about asthma to me, how it works, how we can treat him, what the next steps are. That would be very, very helpful for me.
Yeah, sure. We will be treating your son, but before, I would like, as you have said, I'm going to explain a little bit about a little bit about asthma. So what happens in asthma is the airways become narrow, it constricts, and that's why the person gets difficulty in breathing, and the symptoms could include shortness of breath or kind of
Yeah.
like a whistling sound when a person is breathing. He might have a whistling kind of sound. You might also you might have appreciated this in your son, and I hope you're able to follow what I just said.
That sounds completely fine. I understand how it works, and that's probably why he's breathing and wheezing. So, will he always have this condition, doctor? Will it be manageable? Will it always be serious, or will he even be able to recover from asthma? Is that going to happen?
Yeah, see, asthma. Yeah, that's a very good question. First of all, but asthma, it becomes less severe as the person gets older. So I'm pretty sure by the time he reaches puberty, he will be totally symptom free. But for now, what we can do is, as a parent, what you can do is how to identify certain triggers that certain factors that trigger his condition. So, would you like to know more about this?
Yeah, please. What are these triggers?
Yeah.
How can I respond to them? Because I am quite worried if he has another asthma attack. How I deal with that? That would be useful.
Okay, so the common triggers are pollen grains or dust, and so you need to identify when right before he develops these symptoms that I just mentioned, what he was exposed to. So in that way, you can identify the triggers, and what you can do is you can give him the salbutamol, which has already been prescribed. So he can it's an inhaler. He can you can assist him, or if he's capable enough to take it on his own, then it's good. Whenever he develops these symptoms, he needs to use the inhaler, and he should be fine.
Okay. So the inhaler is useful.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. And to
Okay.
me, do you think he will continue having these severe asthma attacks, or will they decrease with treatment and time?
Yeah, so for now he will be requiring treatment whenever he develops these attacks. But like I've already mentioned, by the time he reaches puberty, this he will be totally symptom free. The symptoms become less severe as the years, as the age progresses. The symptoms become less severe, and your son will be fine by the time he reaches like puberty. But for now, all you need to do is monitor him, identify the triggering factors, and uh, giving him timely intervention. So, is there anything else I can help you with?
Okay, that's good to hear. So what else can be done right now to help? Is there anything else that can be done?
Yeah, I understand your concern. I'm going to be giving you a leaflet, and that has all the details about what to do when a person develops an attack of asthma, and also how to identify uh, the factors, the triggering factors, and how you can prevent a person from developing asthma, and yeah, things like that. It contains all the details, so that should help.
Okay. That sounds good. I'll take that asthma plan and I'll take all this on board. So, yeah, that's been very useful today, Doctor. Thanks very much for reassuring me,
Uh,
seeing that it can be
Thank you.
treated, and we'll see where it goes from here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I hope I was able to be of some help.
No, you certainly were. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much for your
Yeah,
time.
yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.
All right. Boom. We're done. How do you feel?
Not so bad.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You don't feel terrible. That's great. You
Yeah,
don't not so bad. I'll accept that. So,
not so good
uh,
either.
How was your performance today? You know, in terms of, can you give me one good thing and maybe one thing that you've reflected on that you could improve on?
One good thing is I think I did pay attention to whatever you were saying, and so I think that was one good thing. But I think I made a mistake at the start. I forgot to ask your name, so I think that's going to be a problem in the exam. If I didn't ask your name. I introduced myself and I forgot to ask you how you would like me to address you or something like that. I forgot to ask your name.
Yeah, sure. We'll go into that now in the next parts
Yeah.
of the role play, you know, but well done as well for actually trying to think, okay, I actually did this quite good. Well done for that, because as I said, lots of candidates always say the likes of, oh, I could have improved that. I could have done that better. So anyway, let's talk about your linguistic criteria. Did you speak clearly and was easy to understand? Yes, I did. I do think that you speak a little bit rapidly, just a little bit. So I would just be kind of aware about that in terms of your speed, in terms of your, your pausing, your speaking speed. Just try and slow it down a little bit. And the reason why that's also useful in terms of understanding what you're saying. I understood everything that you were saying is the more rapidly we speak, you might be fluent, but you might lose some of that smoothness. It might result in a bit more hesitation, a few more false starts, a bit more repetition. So for example, at one point you were speaking quite rapidly and I think you got tongue tied. You went, yes, so yeah, you did that, right? And I think that was because you were trying to catch up. Your tongue was kind of catch up with your brain.
Yeah.
So just bring it down a little bit, because your fluency is good. Your general understanding of English and usage of it is very good. But sometimes we can trip up because we're speaking so rapidly. So try and bring that down, and that will actually ease in your understanding and your facilitation of your sounds as well. Pronunciation, intonation was good. I think you maybe could have I always recommend when patients are delivering reassurance or empathy or rapport that they make the patient feel it. Bring it up in your tone. Make me feel that as well, because it can actually help with the delivery of it and make it appear more genuine. You're not assessed on that for being genuine with your empathy, but it can help you then facilitate those empathetic phrases if you do so. Pronunciation was good. One error that I picked up on that you said a lot was the word developing, and it was your word stress. You're saying developing. So you're stressing the d, when actually it's the that is stressed. So it's not developing, it's developing. Developing. Can you say?
Developing.
That's better. So keep a mental note of that word. Word stress is on syllable number 2, developing, developing. Very minor, but I want to give you that feedback today in terms of that word. Okay.
Thank you.
Did you speak in an appropriate language and tone? For the most part, but I thought you maybe came across a little bit informal sometimes for a doctor. You know, the phrases like, yeah, so I was saying, so yeah, anyway, phrases like that. Make sure that you come across just not super stuffy and super formal. You don't want to be like that. You want to also be kind, but think about being a little bit more formal in how you address the patient, how you speak. Because you didn't actually ask my name at the very beginning as well. And that obviously is just a nice formal rapport building session at the very, very beginning as well. Just a little bit more formality in your speaking. But in regards to your vocabulary and grammar, didn't pick up any real errors there whatsoever, nothing major. So you did pretty well with that. Okay, so those are the linguistic criteria. Moving on to clinical communication criteria. Did you speak in a way that offered empathy and support? You did, but it could have been more consistent throughout the role play. Okay, offering that reassurance consistently. You did at the very end. I know. I want to let you know, Scott. Everything's fine. Everything's going to be okay. Asthma is treatable. Your son's going to be okay, because I was obviously showing quite a lot of hesitation about this condition, etc. So developing that empathy, using it more consistently, and even that rapport as well. And that's why missing asking my name is a good way to develop that rapport, by having that name connection at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Did you listen and respond effectively? Absolutely, yeah. Every time that you took on my queries and concerns, you delivered it appropriately to me. You could have checked a bit more in terms of, was I okay with that information being presented to me? But in terms of responding, it was effective. So well done for that. Was it structured appropriately? Well, you went through the role play in a reasonable time frame, but 5 minutes and 30 seconds, which is pretty good. If you can bring it down a little bit, that'd be good. But I thought it was quite appropriate. Now, you did go straight into asking me, how can I help you today? I told you about this. The first thing you said, was he at the hospital before? Could have said, oh, yes, Scott, okay, I've understood that. I want to reassure you everything is fine. I want to help you today. Can I ask you, has the patient been in hospital before? So think about that structure of starting that role play and getting that rapport off to a good start as well. But overall, was I satisfied? Yeah, I was satisfied as a patient. You listened to everything I was saying. You ultimately made me feel reassured because I was worried about my patient by telling me what the scenario is, explaining asthma to me, explaining what can be done in my own time, and steps that are going to happen next to help me out as well. Okay, so it's a good role play, certainly. Few takeaways, of course, would be offering a bit more reassurance, of establishing that rapport a bit throughout the role play too. And what's another point as well? Speaking a little bit more formally when you're speaking to the patient as well, and bring that speaking speed down just a little bit, just a tad.
Yes, sir.
Is that
Sir, okay? Thank you, sir. I just have one doubt. I read somewhere that it's better to speak informally because if you speak, it will make the patient more comfortable. Isn't it like that?
it's a balancing act when it comes to formal versus informal. Now, what you don't want to do when you're speaking to a patient is come across, as I said, as really formal, like really stuffy, like really, really formal. You're not really establishing that rapport. But there's a fine line towards actually showing that reassurance and being formal, and being a little bit too informal. I think there's a few phrases here and there that were just a little bit too informal in your approach. Don't forget, you have to make me feel that I'm the patient and you're the doctor as well.
Yes.
So I do agree with what you're saying, but I think just a little bit more towards the formality side, not all the way over here, but a little bit more towards that side would have been good. I don't think it would have been a role play breaker, just so you know, if everything else was going really well. But I want to give you my professional feedback in terms of your formality, in terms of your appropriateness of language for that criteria. Just a little bit more that way. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much.
You're absolutely welcome. Anything else I can help you out with today?
That will be all, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dorian. I really, really appreciate you coming on board. What's your next steps then once you pass your OET exam? More precisely.
I'll if I pass, then I'll give PLAB exam next year, and if I pass that, then I'll move to UK, and then I'll do my post graduation there, and I hope I can settle in UK.
Oh yeah, you certainly can. Keep that dream in your head. You can do it. You certainly will, and I recommend that you do as well. You've got everything that you need to do it in terms of your motivation, your mindset, and your abilities. So yeah, the UK will be very happy to have you very, very soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Finally, I would like to thank Swoosh English, the entire team. I do follow. I have subscribed to Swoosh English, and I'm enrolled in this coaching.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your kind words towards me and my team. It makes me happy that we're doing a good job and you feel confident with your exam abilities. So thank you very much, Dorian. Best of luck with everything. Thanks a lot for taking part in the role play today as well. And take care. Hopefully see you soon in the UK.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All the best. Goodbye. All right, guys. That was role play number two done. Yes, role play number 2 done. So hope that you enjoyed listening through these role plays today. Why not throw a little bit of encouragement coming through to our students today in terms of their capabilities, Paolo and Dorian as well. So throw your comments into the chat box. How do you think the role play went? How do you think you would have done in those 2 role play scenarios as well? And of course, if you've enjoyed these role plays today and want a chance to do it yourself, then make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to our Swoosh English Facebook and YouTube pages. Give this video a like as well. Throw some comments in at me. Hope that you're enjoying this session. We will be reading them and we will be going through them as well. So anyway, that is role play number 2 done. Lovely. All right, guys. So let's finish up this session today. There is a Q&A coming in a minute, guys, where I'll dedicate about 5-10 minutes to answering any of your questions about your OET preparation as we wrap up today. So we at Swoosh English want everyone to ultimately pass their OET exam first time. But how can that be done? Well, first of all, you need motivation to succeed, your dream and your reasons for doing it. You need to have enough time for your preparation as well. You need appropriate tools to learn, of course, the tips, the strategies and methods for OET preparation. But finally, you also need to get support and ultimately feedback in applying your skills and getting better with your abilities over time towards getting to your OET passing score. Now think to yourself, do you have all of these in place? A lot of candidates have got the motivation, that's good, but do you have enough time? Do you have the tools and do you have the support and feedback? Well, if not, it's a really good idea that you get them in your arsenal ASAP. Now, of course, one thing that we're doing to help out students today is our free OET speaking guide. One final reminder about our OET speaking guide today. The comments will be coming through, the download link will be coming through in the comments. If you can't find it on YouTube, then give us an email at enquiries@swooshenglish.com. That's enquiries@swooshenglish.com, and we will send that writing guide that speaking guide directly to your inbox. So give us an email at enquiries@swooshenglish.com, and we will send this speaking guide, directly to your inbox. Inside the speaking guide, we go into a lot of information that we covered today regarding dealing with different kinds of patients, how to offer empathy, demonstrate rapport, give reassurance, structure the role play, talk about formality, talk about the range of grammar and vocabulary that has to be used, tips on fluency and smoothness, etc., etc. It's completely free, so click on the link in the chat box wherever you're watching today to download your free OET speaking guide from Swoosh English. If you want, give our team an email at enquiries@swooshenglish.com. That's enquiries@swooshenglish.com, and our team will send that guide directly to your inbox for your OET preparation. So guys, that's our little gift to you today. Now, if you want to go a step further and you're thinking, well, the guide's good, it's a good starting step, but I actually want to make use of the tools and feedback for OET instruction, well then we're OET premium preparation provider, and we've helped thousands of students pass their OET exams before. So in terms of time, if your exam is coming up in less than 6 weeks, we recommend our OET intensive package for you. Our OET intensive package has been designed to be a short-term crash course that will get you your OET passing result as soon as you can within the time frame that you have for your OET preparation. So if you're looking for that, the link is coming through into the chat box now. I will explain more of the features in a moment, but our OET intensive course is just for you if you are short on time. Now, if your exam is more than 6 weeks away, or you haven't booked your OET exam at this point, then we recommend our flexible passing solution, our OET Deluxe Course. Our OET Deluxe Course has been designed for someone who needs a longer term preparation course, which you can study flexibly and over a long period of time to pass your OET exam. And if you're looking for that, the link is also coming through now for the OET Deluxe Course in a moment. So what do you get in our OET Intensive and Deluxe courses? Well, we designed a complete solution which has seen many students pass their OET exams with us. The first thing that you will get will be an exam readiness test. So you're doing the OET exam essentially at a much cheaper price than the real exam. And it's a mini mock on OET speaking, listening, reading, and writing with score feedback in all sections. An incredibly useful tool because it will show you where you are in your OET preparation at this beginning point, and will give you an indicator about how long it might actually take you to prepare for your exam if you need to start preparing. And that's what's really important to OET preparation, is knowing how long it might take you to pass based on your starting abilities and your study habits to get you there. We got a video course on all skills. So our expert OET teachers will lead you through all the tips, strategies, and methods that you need for OET success in your speaking, your reading, your writing, and listening, with quizzes on all skills to assess your progress. Of course, the cornerstone of our OET courses are live OET skills classes. You want to attend classes with our expert teachers, but we have classes throughout the entire week on speaking, reading, writing, and listening, hosted by our expert OET teachers. As part of those classes, a bit like today, we have live OET mock speaking classes. So like today, you have a chance to actually get some OET speaking feedback done with expert teachers, go through mock speaking role plays, practice with other students, and get that essential feedback that you need for OET speaking success. In addition to that, we have live writing correction classes as well, in which we will demonstrate some case notes in the day of the class. You can bring your pre-assigned written OET writing case notes prompts to the class and submit them to our teachers, and we'll go through live feedback in the class on your OET writing to give you clarity on your skills and abilities at that time. All of our classes are completely recorded as well, because you're all busy medical professionals. You work different shift patterns. You've other lifestyle factors that might not allow you to study consistently. And you're all over the world as well. So everything is recorded, meaning you can access your course and the live classes at any time, giving you a completely flexible solution around you and your lifestyle. We have a writing correction service, most importantly, as well. So in addition to the live writing correction classes, you can submit your writing corrections to our teachers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and get feedback on your OET writing. An essential skill, of course, for OET is that feedback, and writing and speaking are absolutely no different. If you're going into the OET exam without having got writing and speaking feedback at this point, I would seriously suggest that you look into it, and we can do that for you. To top it off, we offer OET mock exams as well. Mock exams are a much demanded feature in many OET courses, and we at Swoosh English do that exactly for you. So you've done your readiness test, you're going through the course, you want to reassess your abilities. Well, we've got a series of mock exams that we do throughout our course to reassign and to retest you in terms of what your OET scoring abilities are. If your mock exams are getting higher and higher, well, then we know that you're getting more ready to the OET exam at this point. And of course, it's a good indicator to see how ready you are and how you are progressing as well. Plus, much, much more in our courses too. So you get that in our OET Intensive and our OET Deluxe course as well. Okay, so guys, come and join us. If you're looking, of course, to join an OET premium preparation provider for your OET preparation. Our next OET speaking class, we do these once a month with OET as part of the OET All-Star series, will of course be an OET mock speaking again. I love doing these mock speaking sessions. It gives me a chance to meet you and speak to you. It will be on building rapport and demonstrating empathy and reassurance in the OET roleplay. It's a great class that we're going to go through all those important features for the clinical communication criteria. It will be on the 9th of September, 9 a.m. UK time. So take a note of that class time in your diaries. Come and join us at Swoosh English by liking and following our Facebook and YouTube channels. Subscribe to them so you can be kept up to date with all of the free content and things that we're putting out here at Swoosh English for your OET success. So guys, I've got a few minutes to wrap up this session now, and it will be a Q&A session. So if anyone has any questions that you want my team and I to answer, we will throw these on the screen or answer them audibly. Just take a note at the bottom of the screen, guys. There is an email address that says enquiries@swooshenglish.com. That's enquiries@swooshenglish.com. You'll see that at the very, very bottom of the screen. If we don't get a chance to answer any of your queries today, then send an email to enquiries@swooshenglish.com, and my team and I will be very, very happy to answer any of your queries about your OET preparation, about the free study guide, about our preparation courses, anything else to do with your OET preparation. We are here to help. So I've got one comment coming in already. We have Dinesha. Hello, Dinesha has said, sir, should we complete all tasks in the role play card within 5 minutes in the exam? The short answer to that, Dinesha, is if you can, yes, but it's not 100% appropriate that you do so. The role play isn't strictly timed at 5 minutes, but if you do go significantly over the 5 minutes, the role play card may be cut off. So it's up to you to manage your time that you're able to complete the role play within an approximate 5-minute time in order to give yourself the best chance of fulfilling all of the criteria on the role play card, of which organization is a key part of that as well. So just keep that in mind, Dilnesha. that you really want to be at the point that you are able to do the role plays within 5 minutes approximately, consistently in your OET speaking practice before you actually get into your OET exam at that point. So thank you very much for your question. We have Blissful on the Swoosh on the OET channel has said, how can I access you? Good question, Blissful. If you can see, I'm pointing down the bottom of the screen. There's an email here that says enquiries@swooshenglish.com. That's enquiries@swooshenglish.com, as well as our website as well. It says www.swooshenglish.com. Check out our website or give us an email at enquiries@swooshenglish.com, and we'd be happy to help with any queries that you have for your OET preparation at this point. Blissful. Let us know, and we'd be happy to help. Hello, Paolo. Paolo's back. Is saying everything will be fine okay? It sounds as if it's false reassurance for a critically ill patient. That's a good question, Paolo. It is important that if a patient is critically ill and the scenario is what it is, that you don't say everything will be fine if it's not going to be fine. That's why it's probably just best in a critically ill scenario to inform the patient about what it is and tell them what the next steps are, what can be done. What can be done to reassure them that going through these next steps will be as okay as it can be. But yes, you shouldn't say it is going to be fine when it's not going to be fine. So integrity is very, very important in terms of how we deal with patients in these scenarios, and it is very important in the OET role plays as well. It's best in this scenario just to go through what the next steps are so the patient is clear about what is upcoming for them. So that would be my answer to that section, that would be my answer to how to deal with that in the scenario. We have Hicks has said, can you say things not in the card? Well, yes, Hicks, you can say things that are not in the card, but ultimately I would recommend just trying to stick to the role play card as much as you can in that scenario, because you don't want to be adding any extra information into the role play card, which then gives you more things to think about, more things for you to consider, which can kind of derail the entire role play scenario. You can add a few small points here and there that complements the parts in the role play card, but don't be changing the format of the card. It's designed to flow through from beginning to end. So try and stick to the card as much as you can and make use of the information on the card as much as you can, Hicks. Hopefully that was useful for you in terms of your answers. Okay. All right. We have Sabs. Hi, Sabs. Said, I have a habit of prolonging a word for thinking my next sentence. Do I have to omit that, or can I do it for 1 to 2 times? So you are extending the word as you think of the next thing. Well, that would be a bit of a fluency error. Yes, of course, you can do it all very, very minorly. That's completely fine. You're not required to get a B score to speak as I'm doing it right now. I prolong words when I'm thinking about words too. It happens. So if it happens sometimes, that's completely fine, Sabs. But of course, if you are doing it consistently, you might want, of course, to go through some training and feedback to improve with your fluency and your coherence as well. And that's where that expert teacher feedback comes in incredibly useful to assess your performance in relation to that and everything else that you are doing as well. But 1 or 2 times, I wouldn't worry too much if everything else is going really well, would be my answer for that. Okay, I'll take one more question here very, 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 very quickly. So Shivani has said, I ran out of time in the writing test and one sentence in the middle was left incomplete. The rest of the letter is perfect in my opinion. Will I be able to score 350? Please answer. Shivani, I'm afraid I can't answer that question because I would need to be able to assess the entire letter. Of course, it's all about a scoring game in terms of adding up your scores and all the criteria for all aspects of the OET exam. So leaving out one sentence might have you get a 350 score if everything else was being scored incredibly well. So I can't actually answer that question. Best practice, of course, is to ensure that you are able to write an entire letter within that hour time and score as well with feedback on all aspects of that, of your OET speaking case notes will be my short answer for that, Shivani. Okay, good luck. Hope everything goes well for you in your OET exam. All right, guys, we got a couple of questions coming in. Just very quickly now asking about the OET courses. If you're looking to get in touch with us, Click inquiries at swooshenglish.com. That's inquiries at swooshenglish.com if you're looking to access one of our courses. I'm going to send a link, a couple of inquiries coming through for the OET intensive course. The links are coming through into the chat boxes, guys. If you're interested in our OET intensive course, that's our 1-month crash course. It's very, very popular for helping you guys pass your OET exam within a short period of time, and that's why I would recommend it. The links are coming through into the chat box, guys, if you're interested in that. If you can't see the links or you want another way of doing it, then give us an email at inquiries at swooshenglish.com. That's inquiries at swooshenglish.com, and we'll be happy to help you out with your OET preparation with us at Swoosh English. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for taking part in this OET All-Star session today. It's been an absolute pleasure having all of you watching me. I hope that you enjoyed the session too. Just a reminder to like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us anything right now to let us know how we did today. And I look forward to hosting the next OET All-Star session on the 9th of September. Make sure you download your free OET speaking guide with us too. And if you're willing to take the next steps, come and join us with one of our preparation courses for your OET success. I'm Scott from Swoosh English. It's been a pleasure having you guys here today. Good luck with your OET preparation. May you all pass. May you all fulfill your dreams. And I'll hopefully see some of you very soon. Take care and goodbye.